coming in live here from Jeju-si on Jeju-do Island is the capital of South Korea's Jeju province. Fun fact, we're here today on the holiest of days. It is in fact Diwali, which is the Hindu festival of light, with the final day of Korean qualifiers. I'm of course your host Yakuzaku, and with me today is La Campeona Guardabosques que entrena gimnasios de peligro, like _PIP. How we doing, like?
What's up, Yaku? We are back with the third qualifier for TSL numero 8. And mates, once again, every single qualifier, of course, we have to start things off with our Vietnamese boy.
That we do. This time, we're doing that as well. But we're kicking it off on Berlingrad. We're in the bottom right-hand corner map, swatting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We don't have a Vietnamese boy. We instead have our Korean boy coming down from the land of Korea. He is, of course, going to be representing Alpha X with his massive, massive brain. He is RagnaroK.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player. He is red, representing the Juggernauts. It is MeomaikA. And
in this, yeah.
I was gonna say I'm already in love because, mate, RagnaroK opened up with a gas pool hatch opener.
That he did, just like MeomaikA. On the other side of the map. This is a matchup that I feel like it has been a long time coming. Like, I don't remember if we ever actually casted MeomaikA versus RagnaroK before, but it just feels so right that I imagine we have at some point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we haven't casted it before, but we should have. So here we go. Meanwhile, the big difference is that MeomaikA did not go for that opener. He did go for a pool hatch gas, so very safe. And also, it does mean that his own link speed is going to be much, much later compared to RagnaroK. So RagnaroK will have a big timing with link speed, and not just link speed, but also with the Baneling Nest.
Yeah, he did not pull out a gas at all.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, MeomaikA, he did scout the opener, as in he scouted the timing of the hatchery, so he knows it is a pool first, so he's well aware that he has to keep these things at home and be safe and secure, but he doesn't know about the Baneling Nest.
That he really does not, which is going to be the more important, is going to be the more important component here of RagnaroK's build, or at least the thing that MeomaikA needs to be paying more attention to. That way he can pre-split a little bit. He at least knows that he can't, just run his lings and try to outnumber RagnaroK in that case.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, we have 10 more lings in production. Like, RagnaroK is straight up going to ling flood and make banelings. And MeomaikA does have some decent overlord positionings, and he will just barely see these lings. But no, he's going for 2-base lair! Oh, no.
That is the most terrifying part about this. Now he is setting up a little bit of a wall, which, I mean, it can help somewhat, but he just started it. The buildings are still in transition, have barely any health on them.
Yeah,
good banelings. That's all it takes.
Exactly. We'll see if RagnaroK can break through, because if he is able to break through this wall, no, he actually respects the wall and he drones up.
Or he does both at the same time. Waiting for his banelings again position. He does drone up behind us, as you said, so yeah, he is already thinking ahead in this game. He knows that even if he's able to break through this wall, it's going to be difficult landing the killing blow on MeomaikA.
Yeah, he is. So again, this is a great start here for MeomaikA, because this ultra aggression from RagnaroK hasn't paid for itself at all. It did nothing. Like, the faster link speed, the faster banelings didn't come into play. So MeomaikA is getting away with going for a very fast lair like this. And as we can see, he's going to be going for a roach push.
Indeed, he is. When it's going to be hitting fairly soon, which is of course pretty important to take note of. RagnaroK knows that MeomaikA is contained to 2 bases for the time being. If the game goes on long enough, and if MeomaikA isn't able to establish any map presence, then RagnaroK will just get his 3rd base, his 4th base, and everything else behind that.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what MeomaikA does here. Like, because it's MeomaikA, we assume that he's going to be incredibly aggressive, and he will have a pretty big window where he has a massive upgrade advantage. But does he want to hit with Roach speed, or will he just use this for map control and then, like, take a third behind this, right? To try and get further ahead. Because like defender's advantage is always a thing, you know, like it can always be risky.
It really is. That's why I think he should grab Ignitus.
I mean, he's got the tech for it if he wanted to. Oh god, as we do see RagnaroK trying to catch up, right? He's got his own lair about to finish up. He's got his own gases here as well. Yeah, we'll see how this goes here for MeomaikA, as he is just banking up nothing but roaches.
Making them pretty far in the back. Not exactly hidden, necessarily. RagnaroK sees his Evo Chamber researching, and he saw the Roach Horn researching, so he at least knows that roaches are coming his way.
Yeah.
What MeomaikA is doing is just making sure that by the time he kills his own Evo Chambers, he's able to push across the map with every unit he needs to.
Yeah, and obviously at the moment, like, it could still be 2-base Spire, right? As now it has all been scouted. RagnaroK is well aware of the roaches, and now it is go time for MeomaikA. He has to pull the trigger, but because this has been scouted, RagnaroK should be making nothing but roaches, and I wouldn't be surprised if he even throws down some spines. Opts not to though. Opts not to.
Oh, I kind of feel like he needs to at this point. The Lings, of course, can be a little bit of a evener here for RagnaroK.
Oh,
It's largely able to. Oh no! MeomaikA was a Ling run by.
Yeah.
Evo Chamber just at the last second. Will it matter much though? Because MeomaikA is hitting with his own roaches.
Yeah, exactly. This time the Lings are not here at home to defend for RagnaroK. We have a massive arch here for MeomaikA, and he is breaking through the defenses of RagnaroK. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the Lings have been cleaned up.
Yeah, MeomaikA did not neglect his roach production whatsoever. He didn't think I'm going to push and start running up behind this. He is 100% all in with his roaches. GG. MeomaikA takes game number 1.
GG. I thought it was disastrous when the wall wasn't a wall and the Lings actually flooded into the natural base. But mate, RagnaroK, he wasn't respecting what he saw, right? I was so surprised that we didn't see any spine crawlers. You know, we saw a big 2-base all-in coming, and RagnaroK's like, mate, I'm Korean. Like, so who is this guy?
He's like, I have a massive brain, MeomaikA. And Mio said, that means there's even more for me to corrupt.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. What an execution there by MeomaikA. Again, it was very smart of him to hide his roaches for as long as possible as well, because of that, the uncertainty of whether it is going to be a roach push or if like roach speed was a fake and really it was going to be Spire. Or, yeah.
I feel like that was entirely what RagnaroK was banking on. Hoping that it was going to be a Spire behind that.
Yeah,
that and. Yeah, that and pushing in with his Lings instead of, sending them back home to aid in the defense. I think it was also anticipating MeomaikA to sort of drone up behind that, get a third expansion as he pushes out, which is something that a lot of Zerg players do.
Yeah.
Not MeomaikA.
I'm kind of surprised at how little that Ling run by did. Like, he got some queens, which was cool, but that was it, and he did slow down the reinforcements, but they would have been put to better use if they were at home.
They absolutely would. And speaking of home, we are now on a map which I think is home to both of these players, funnily enough, knowing their reputations. Over in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner of Curious Minds LE. We, of course, have our blue Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea. As you can see with his decal, representing the homeland, if you will. He's going to be also representing Alpha X. He is RagnaroK.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Curious Minds LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player. Oh my, now being the aggressor and getting the faster gas, we have, representing the Juggernauts, MeomaikA.
The entire dynamic is flipped on its head.
It literally, the turns have tabled. RagnaroK going for the pool hatch opening, so very safe. Meanwhile, MeomaikA going for the faster gas, being that much more aggressive.
And we'll see if that pays off for him now on Curious Minds. Didn't quite work for RagnaroK when he did it on Berlingrad, but
yeah.
MeomaikA did have a lot of eyes on what RagnaroK was going for. He did have a lot of time to prepare.
Also, like, walls are brutal, mate. Like, when you're link flooding like that, if you manage to get a wall up in time, it can be so difficult to really make anything happen. But we'll see, because it also felt like MeomaikA kind of already knew like what he wanted his response to be. I'm curious to see what happens once RagnaroK faces that same build. You know,
if it even gets to that point, honestly. There's always a world out there that MeomaikA floods in entirely with his lings, and the game ends in one of the players' victory.
I guess that's what I meant, as in like when RagnaroK sees that it was a pull first, sorry, a faster gas.
Getcha.
Like, is he gonna wall off as well? You know, is he also gonna go for a fast layer? We'll see as the lings do miss each other. MeomaikA does get here across the map, and yeah, gonna slowly chip away at this hatchery. Gonna deny any mining here at the natural. Maybe pick off a drone. Maybe.
He's actually pretty committed to this. 8 more lings are coming across the map, or 4 more lings for a total of 8, I should say.
Oh yeah, they're coming across the map. What's interesting is that despite having the gas, MeomaikA did not throw down a baneling nest.
Yeah, he's got the money for it, but
yeah,
it's not quite utilizing that.
Just pure lings for the time being, so it kind of makes sense, right? Like, we know that MeomaikA isn't the best with ling bane control. As like he invests into all these lings, can he deal too much damage here? I mean, the queens don't have enough energy for transfuse.
They really don't, but there's not too much surface area here either. MeomaikA should be at least be able to get 1 queen, but not much from there.
Oh,
Slips in.
Oh my god, that was so close, by the way. That was incredibly close. And he does slip into the main base. He confirms, oh, okay, you're not doing what I was doing in game 1. You're not going for a fast lair.
That he is not going to be... Not getting the Roach Warren just yet either, and speaking of Roach Warren, now we see why MeomaikA was banking up as much gas as he was, skipping banelings entirely, going straight for something a little bit more comfortable for him to utilize.
Exactly. From here, he goes straight into that Roach Warren, straight into that lair as well. So, unlike RagnaroK, he doesn't waste any gas on a baneling nest or any banelings either. So, this is a little bit more of an efficient execution of MeomaikA, knowing that the Ling Bane wouldn't deal too much damage. And also, it was really nice of him to get a kill on a queen.
Yeah, this early on, that's just a lot less creep that can be spread. At least for a standard Zerg player. It's probably not how MeomaikA was thinking about it. You could spread creep with queens?
I mean, yo, he put 1 tumor down. It's down.
What? Man, RagnaroK is really doing a number on him.
It's true, it's true. He's infecting MeomaikA's brain, mate. Speaking of, MeomaikA almost gets an Overlord. He may be able to chase it down.
So bad. 1 more hit. 1 more hit.
Beautiful, mate. MeomaikA does hunt down that Overlord. Doesn't it kind of supply blocks RagnaroK, but he was getting prepared. He's already got 4 Overlords on the way. Jesus Christ. And it looks like MeomaikA once again wants to hit a timing with his Roach speed and +1.
Yeah, the thing that worries me is that his own +1 is going to be a little bit later than RagnaroK's, but I don't know, we'll see. With Galarian Constitution, he can have a bit more micro potential that may be able to negate the upgrade advantage. And of course, numbers and positioning matter way more than upgrades when it comes to Roach v Roach.
Yeah, and same with like reinforcements coming across the map. They're going to hit that much faster. Like, Roach speed is such a huge upgrade advantage you can have in Roach versus Roach. But again, we'll see if MeomaikA does try and hit a timing here.
Oh, interesting.
Oh my god.
So I guess eventually he's going to go into Lurkers, but yeah, for now he is taking into Hydras.
I've never seen MeomaikA do this before, I'll be honest. And he's not a Lurker player as well. Like, so I do think that he wants to go Roach Hydra. But we'll see,
Really?
see.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll keep our fingers crossed then.
Yeah. Part of me, now that I think about it a little bit more, part of me feeling, okay, there's a cancel.
Fake out.
Yeah. Part of me thinks that maybe that was just in case we had like a Spire follow-up from RagnaroK, so he could be like blindly countering it. But I guess he realized, okay, I don't need this anymore, so he cancels. It's all good.
Yeah, I don't need to tech up. I need as many Roaches as I can get my hands on, and MeomaikA has access to quite a lot of them, let me tell you.
Also, that just really threw me off, mate.
Really did.
I was like, what are we watching?
I feel like we have to
now?
recalibrate after looking at that.
Exactly. Meanwhile, we do have a nice snipe there. The queen at the 3rd base does get picked off, but Roach speed kicks in for RagnaroK, so any kind of timing that MeomaikA did want to hit earlier, it's not going to hit now, as the upgrades do even up.
Indeed, they do. But MeomaikA can still roam around with his roaches and be a little bit of a have a little bit of a threatening presence.
A little bit, mate, as he is trying to bait RagnaroK into him. He had plenty of reinforcements at home, but RagnaroK doesn't take the bait. He does back off, go back home, and wait for his upgrades. As +2 is on the way for both players, and yeah, we are just going straight on head first into Roach versus Roach.
My favorite.
Is it?
Sometimes you see some really cool stuff with positioning.
Yeah, it can be really cool.
Yeah. To try to see each player outflank the other with their roaches and your ravagers,
Speaking of, RagnaroK does morph in a couple of ravagers. MeomaikA is still relying on pure roaches, but you can see MeomaikA skyrocketing ahead when it comes to supply. He's making so many more roaches.
Yeah, it really comes back to getting his third base much quicker than RagnaroK.
Yeah.
A lot more resources that were mined, and a lot more larvae to work with too.
Yeah, exactly. Like MeomaikA, he had the map control in the beginning of the game, and now that is really showing off here in the mid game. Meanwhile, honestly, I feel like now would be a really good opportunity for MeomaikA to pull the trigger. At the moment, he hasn't gone for it yet, but now he's going for it. He's sending everything across the map. He does get spotted by the Overlord.
There's a bit of a shame, but at this point, I feel like MeomaikA has just way too much Zerg. Trying to bait RagnaroK up a ramp.
He's got to go now, mate.
He's going to go for a flank.
Yeah, he's got to go as soon as possible. He's now trying to encroach upon the army. Not all his roaches can fight here. He's taking a couple of bites to the face, but he has so many more roaches.
Exactly. Not all his roaches can fight because he has just that many roaches. This is a fantastic concave on top of just about anything. A bile does land, which will actually soften up quite a lot of these roaches, and the Spines Crawler, of course, adds a lot of additional DPS, but it is not enough, mate. It's MeomaikA going to take out RagnaroK 2-0.
He's doing it. He is breaking on through. The Ravagers are all getting taken out. RagnaroK droned up that little bit too much there. 10 workers went down, and RagnaroK is still ahead in the drones. Mate, you don't drone up against MeomaikA, but he doesn't know who MeomaikA is, but now he should, because MeomaikA, he breaks into the natural.
Just like so. He's killing every single drone that RagnaroK made earlier on, so now, yeah, RagnaroK doesn't even have that advantage. GG is called. MeomaikA takes that series 2-0. Proving that, mate, it doesn't matter how big your brain is, MeomaikA is gonna drill his way into it.
He's gonna shrink it, mate. He's gonna
shrink it. He is. He'll shrink it, mate.
Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations, MeomaikA, as he does move on in this bracket. He eliminates RagnaroK. Mate. GG, well played. Also, I just love what we just saw, because a couple of things, right? We've been watching MeomaikA all week go up against Korean players, both in the King of Battles qualifiers and the TSL qualifiers, and he's had a hard time. He's been
Korean
facing
Zerg players specifically.
He's been facing Dongre-gu, he's been facing Rogue, Bjorn. Like, these players just really, honestly, kind of dominated their series over MeomaikA. But now, finally, in the last chance, in TSL qualifier number 3 for Korea, he has finally put a point on the board. He's finally showing us, mate, this is the guy who 2-0'd Mara at LAN.
Exactly, I was gonna say, Korea quaking in their boots.
Exactly, he just needed some time to warm up, Yeah.
Exactly what it was. He needed to slowly acclimate himself to the north.
Exactly, and he has done so. MeomaikA, he does move on in this bracket to the next round, where he will be facing the winner of Nightmare versus Beastlord.